Guys, welcome back to the channel Global Immigration and Visas News. In this video, we will talk about the most popular immigration program to immigrate to Canada known as the New Brunswick Critical Worker Pilot Project between the New Brunswick Provincial Government and the Federal Government of Canada. So before we begin, if you are new to this channel, please hit the like button and press the bell icon to subscribe to this channel, where you will get the detailed and updated information about the latest immigration policies and visas opportunities of all major destinations including the UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Italy and much more. Guys, in an attempt to address key labor shortage in New Brunswick, the Canadian federal government will work with immigration and producing the new opportunities to bring and settle skilled foreign workers to the province. Guys, in November 2022, the provincial government of New Brunswick and the federal government introduced the New Brunswick Critical Worker Pilot Project program. The program is unique in its nature that it seeks not to just provide economic immigration to New Brunswick but also to help newcomers retention to the area by providing settlement services for immigrants. The pilot will work with 6 selected employers to help fill labor gaps in several industries, including manufacturers, fisheries, food production, forestry, farming, and more. This 5-year pilot will be regularly monitored and reviewed to ensure that it yields the necessary results. Newcomers' attraction, economic contribution, and retention are higher on the provincial government's list of priorities, with New Brunswick ranking 8th overall in the population among Canada's provinces and 11th in terms of GDP per capita. Guys, the New Brunswick provincial nominee programs target qualified candidates who meet specific economic and labor market needs in the provinces. Folks under the NB-PNP candidates can qualify through one of 5 categories. Number 1, New Brunswick Express Entry Stream. Number 2, New Brunswick Skilled Worker Stream. Number 3, New Brunswick Skilled Worker Stream for truck drivers. Number 4, New Brunswick Entrepreneurial Stream. Number 5, New Brunswick Postgraduate Entrepreneurial Stream. Guys, candidates can also qualify for New Brunswick immigration via the Atlantic Immigration Program. In order to qualify for the stream, they must have the skills, education and work experience to contribute to New Brunswick economy and be ready to live and work permanently in the province. Folks, candidates must meet the initial eligibility requirements before being assessed and scored on 6 factors like age, education, language skill, work experience, job offer, and adaptability. New Brunswick Express Entry Stream initial eligibility requirements. Number 1, connection to the New Brunswick. Candidates must meet one of the following requirements: be living in New Brunswick and working paid full-time employment from a New Brunswick company in an occupation list as skill type 0 or skill level A or B of the NOC. Have an offer of continuous paid full-time employment from a New Brunswick company in an occupation list as NOC 0A or B. Have been selected by New Brunswick from the express entry pool in response to provincial labor market needs. In addition to it, candidates must intend to reside in New Brunswick. Candidates must prove a genuine intention to reside in New Brunswick. Example of ways intent can be established include description of actions taken to permanently settle in New Brunswick, current employment in New Brunswick, employment search details, length of any previous and or current period of residence in New Brunswick, community involvement, ability to support yourself in New Brunswick, connection to New Brunswick through work, study or family, professional network and affiliations, residency including household lease agreements and or property ownership, family ties and other social relationships and connections, details of prior visits to Canada, connection to other jurisdictions in Canada. In order to qualify for the said stream, the applicant must have the required settlement funds. Settlement funds required for New Brunswick Express entry are the same as federal government settlement funds. Number 4, the candidate must meet the minimum qualification of occupation classification as NOC 0A or B. Number 5, the candidate must receive a genuine job offer if applicable. A job offer is not required for the New Brunswick Express entry stream. However, who one has obtained, it must be permanent, full-time and non-seasonal employment in an eligible occupation. Full-time means a minimum of 30 hours per week or 1560 hours per year. Number 6, an applicant must be able to afford a competitive wage if applicable. Where a job offer is included in an application, the wages offered must meet or exceed the median wage level for the occupation in the specific region of New Brunswick, be comparable to the rate paid to worker with a similar level of experience and training for equivalent jobs in New Brunswick, be consistent with the wage structure of the employer. Guys, now let's talk about New Brunswick Express Canada's entry stream selection factors. One of the eligibility requirements are met. Candidates are scored based on 6 selection factors. Candidates must score 67 points out of possible 100 to qualify. Number 1. The age. Candidates must be aged between 22 to 55 years. Number 2. Language skill. Candidates must score a minimum of Canadian language benchmark CLB4 in reading, writing, speaking and listening for first official language, English or French. Candidates score extra points for a minimum CLB5 in a second official language. Now talk about the age points. The maximum age point a candidate can secure is 28. Number 3. A candidate must have a minimum secondary school education either obtained in Canada or with Educational Credential Assessment ECA report if obtained outside the Canada. The maximum points for the education a candidate can secure is 25. The next one is the work experience. A candidate score up to 15 points for work experience at NOC skill level 0, A or B. Work must be paid in full-time or an equal amount of part-time. The maximum points for a work experience a candidate can secure is 15. The next one is a valid job offer. The candidate score 10 points for a qualifying job offer provided one of the below situation applies. Guys, the maximum points for the job offer a candidate can secure here is 10. You currently work in New Brunswick on a work permit and you meet all the following conditions. Your work permit is valid both when you apply and when the permanent residence visa is issued, or you are allowed to work in Canada without a work permit when your visa is issued. IRCC issued your work permit based on a positive LMIA from Employment and Social Development Canada in an occupation list under skill type 0 or skilled level A or B of the NOC. You are working for a New Brunswick employer name on your work permit. That employer has made a valid job offer based on being accepted as a skilled worker. Now let's talk about the situation number 2. You currently work in a New Brunswick in a job that exempt from the LMIA requirements due to an international agreement such as NAFTA, or it is a significant benefit to Canadian interest, or a federal provincial agreement. Guys, now let's talk about the situation number 3. You currently do not have a work permit or don't plan to work in Canada before you get a permanent residence visa, and your employer has an LMIA and made you a valid job offer based on the LMIA and on you being accepted as a skilled worker. Guys, that's all for now. If you want to stay updated on the latest developments about immigration and visas news of all major countries, then keep watching the channel Global Immigration and Visas News. To give us a motivational support, like this video, subscribe it and leave your questions in the comment sections. Until the next video, take care and bye bye.